What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be another artistry video, and to just start off, I wouldn't say that this is a cover up. This has been a piece that I've worked on like the last at least 4 years, probably like 5 years. And I mean, I've tried to make it a couple different things and it just has not just gone well. And like at first it was like a commission for somebody, I was talking to or whatever, but I had to cover this shit up. And I tried to like do like this space thing, but it was not given. So yeah, we just did this abstract painting. I am so close to being done with this. It's so crazy because like this is from like a couple months ago, and I haven't worked on that piece in like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was looking at it today and I was like, okay, I know what like other layers I want to add, because I'm like basically at the finish line right now. I want to add some more orange and then like maybe some yellow one. Like this is like the first couple layers of so many layers, like months of work. And I just love just seeing how abstract paintings in general, like how they just like build up over time, because I feel like people think that abstract art is kind of like easy, and like I feel like no, because like when I do my art pieces and they are more abstract, like it comes from years and years of like practicing with different techniques and stuff, and like understanding how like to paint like realistically. And I feel like once you understand how to like render things realistically, it's easier for you to kind of like play on like things with your like creativity, if that makes any sense. Like because I know how things are supposed to look, I can abstract them in ways that make sense and like kind of convey a different meaning. And this is a piece that I haven't worked on in a little while. Like I really have not painted or done any art. Like I did like random doodles here and there, but like I haven't done any like art in a couple weeks. I've been focusing on a lot of like makeup videos because one, my tripod broke, so like I'm like recording with this little stand, and I mean it does its job, like it's doing pretty good, but like just content has just been different. And also like I ran out of white paint because I had to bring it to school because like the kids ran out when they was painting murals, and like I just have not had the chance to go buy anymore. So I'm gonna have to buy some paint so that way I can like finish, because there's a couple different colors that I need to restock on, because I'm working on like 10 million paintings at one time. Like y'all don't see all the art projects I work on, but just know that I have a whole bunch of them, and I'm like literally creating more as like I'm trying to like hurry up and like take things off the list. It's just like a process. I try not to rush myself. Like when it comes to like certain competitions, or maybe like there is something like a collection, a gallery or whatever, like then I'll try to be like a little bit like not even in a rush, but like I might expedite the process. But like when it comes to my art in general, I kind of just like paint, and like I feel like a lot of my stuff also comes from like experiencing life. And sometimes like I don't get you, like I don't know, I feel like this is just a in general like thing with artists, is like sometimes you just kind of feel out of it, and like it's because you need to like go and experience life and like just learn from like what's around you. And now I feel like, okay, I've gotten like energized. I kind of know like where I want to go with this next like phase of my work, because I've grown so much within this last year. It's really, really crazy. And I know where I want to go, and I know what I want to do like long term with my art career. So it's like being intentional with the things that I do, that way I can like help build that future, because I can manifest that all I want, but it's also like there's like a push and pull with that. You have to like believe in spirit and trust in spirit, but also you have to do the work and do everything that's necessary for you to maintain it. And some people forget that, and I didn't realize that for a very long time. But since I've been on my healing journey that has been forever long at this point, it's really crazy how different I am. But I just feel like you have to kind of like, if you're going to expect something, or you're going to try and like dream for a certain life, you have to like help build that life, if that makes sense. You have to do the things that that future person is going to be doing, because if you have to go like from starting like point A to like point Y like in like 2.5 seconds, like it's gonna be hard, because you're gonna be not used to like what it takes to like actually live in that state. So if I had to describe like my painting technique, I will say it's like abstract realism in a way. And I feel like it's like a renaissance of like an abstract renaissance, more to speak. Like I take methods of like layering when it comes to like my abstract paintings, mixing different colors, and like everything not always being uniform, and like being able to see like highlights and depths. Like If I'm being honest, when it comes to my landscape paintings, I feel like a lot of times I'm painting like, moments of the past. Like I feel like there are certain like modern elements here or there, but a lot of times like when I'm doing these type of paintings, I kind of just create like things out of like my mind. Like, I'm not always like painting somewhere in particular. It just comes to be, and like I just think about like I feel like this is like a century, not century, that's way too far. Like I feel like this is like 2 or 1 decades like before I was born, like generations basically. And I don't know, like I feel like this is the world that I didn't get to experience, and I'm trying to pay homage to just like what Mississippi, what Memphis used to look like back in the day, and the world that those ancestors of mine like basically lived in. And I just feel like it's so much like covering up when it comes to like a certain part, like the Jim Crow era and like the era before that, like right after slaves were free. Like, especially having like deeper roots in the South. Like I know for a fact that my lineage was one of those last like just generations of people who were enslaved. I feel like, I don't know, when it comes to me creating art lately, I've kind of just been trying to depict as much as possible my ancestors, like, environments, like, what their life looked like, because I don't have a lot of people who can tell me like firsthand. And like the people who are here, sometimes, it's hard. Like imagine like having to deal with like so much racism, like people getting lynched and stuff. And it's just like the trauma that has had on like the body and minds of like our elders. It just frustrates the fuck out of me, because there was no reason for all of that harm, all of that like abuse, like mistreatment, like. And it's so funny to me because people want to like act like slavery or racism was like some foreign topic, like this was like 200-300 like years ago. No, baby, like that was like 2 seconds ago. It's people who are alive and well who saw strange fruit hanging, and like that in itself, like people want to ignore race, and it's like last thing I want to do is talk about like a lot of bullshit. And it's like I don't care, like I've had friends who are from all different like backgrounds and stuff, but it's like what fucks me up is when people don't want to address the fact that there are certain like systematic barriers in place because of racism that was not too long ago. Like the people who were being taught that like that's what their childhood, they saw those strange fruit and they went out with their families and had picnics and stuff, and like they got to go out of school, like get out of school to go celebrate a black person like getting killed. And like it just frustrates me, because I'm someone like when I like understand like the like mistreatment of certain things, it's like I want to try to bring as much attention as possible as I can. And it's just frustrating when people don't care, or like they act like certain issues do not exist because they don't want to like self-reflect or admit like how they may play into certain things, because none of us are perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, like girl, come on. But anyways, I love y'all so much, and I'll talk to y'all later.